In this video, we'll be discussing the different types of threads that exist. We'll also look at how to read a spool, how to match the thread to your fabric, and also which thread is best for your particular project. I have a few examples of different kind of threads here. The first one that we have is just regular all-purpose thread. This is a thread that you're going to be using for most of your projects. I pretty much use it for pretty much 95% of everything that I do on the machine. It's just a regular thread that's for most activities, and you'll see on the top of the spool you'll get at the store that it says all-purpose. So this is what you're going to want to pick out whether you're making, pajamas or a pair of shorts or something like that. Now I just have it on my bobbin spool here because I don't have the thread spools anymore. But this is probably the most common thread. This next one you can see is a little bit thicker. This is a heavy duty thread. You would use this if you're sewing with fabrics that are heavy like vinyl, leather, denim. So if I'm sewing a pair of jeans, I would want to use this type of thread because it's stronger and it's better for those heavier type of fabrics. This thread right here, now you're not going to be able to see it, but it's actually pretty shiny and glossy. This is embroidery thread. Sometimes you'll be looking at the store and you'll see all these spools of really shiny, pretty threads, and you'll be like, oh, this is so pretty, I want this for my project. This is not for sewing your garments together or pretty much sewing anything together. It's a decorative thread and it's meant for people that have embroidery machines or do a lot of embroidery. So it's not really meant to hold your pieces together very well, but it's just meant to decorate. Now, if you're doing some sort of decorative hem on the bottom of a skirt or something and you're kind of doing like one of the designs on your machine, then it's all right to use this. That's fine. But if you're just using it to sew seams together, it's kind of a waste of money to go and buy the shiny thread when you can just go ahead and use regular all-purpose thread because you don't see it anyways. Now, there are more other specialty threads that you may come across. There'll be 100% cotton, machine quilting, hand quilting thread, but the majority of the things is going to go straight to the all-purpose. So those are a few examples of threads that you'll come across. So here I have some examples of some thread on spools. Now I just want to show that these are a different brand from this one. Obviously you can see the difference. So these are the same brand, but this is a different type of thread. This one is an all-purpose one. This is a heavy-duty thread. So instead of just looking at the width of the thread itself, you can see that this is a beige color, this is a green color. Also, if it doesn't say heavy duty on it, which this one at the top says machine quilting and crafts, which means that it has a bit more cotton in it, while these are polyester, 100% polyester. You can look in the shelving area where you get these threads, and you're going to see at some point above it, it's going to say heavy duty, it's going to say all purpose, or it's going to say 100% cotton or something like that. So if all else fails, just look at the shelf. It's going to be there somewhere. The other nice thing that you'll see at the top of these spools, you'll see a number. What this number is the color number. So if you happen to run out of this thread and you need to go buy another one, all you do is just match this number to a number of one of the spools that you pull from the shelf that they come on. As long as you're using the same brand, of course. If I take this and I go to this brand, obviously the colors are not going to correspond because they may have a different coloring system. Other things that you can find is how much thread is included on the spool. This one is on the bottom here, and this is 110 yards. This one, it is on the top. This is 450 yards. This particular brand also comes in a similar spool that's shorter and is probably about the same amount of thread as this one. Now when you're picking out thread for a project, I normally just get a small one unless something that I'm doing is very involved in lawn and maybe I'm doing a lot of things with that certain fabric. If I'm doing something that I don't think is going to take a lot of thread, I wouldn't go ahead and buy the big one because if it's a unique color, such as a brown or a purple or something like that, chances are you're never going to find a use for it in another project unless you buy the same exact fabric. So that's why it's good just to keep a small one. The other thing is that you can look on the spools and it'll give the content. This is 100% polyester. This one is on the back side here. And this is 30% cotton and 63% polyester. So that's what makes it the machine quilting. So that's basically the information that you can get off the spools. And usually if you have any questions in matching, it's always good to get a second opinion. But what I tend to do is the thread will usually be wrapped up on here. There's a section, a little gap at the bottom of the spool, and that's where the thread comes out. So I'll unwind it a little bit, and then I'll take my fabric and I'll just lay the thread on top of my fabric. If I have a couple of options that I don't really know which one's gonna, I'll just keep doing that. And the one that blends in the best, that's the thread I'm gonna pick. So that's why it's a good idea to have your fabric with you so you can match it to your thread.